Hello, friends, and welcome to
Language Games.
My name is Edgar. I'm born and raised in Mexico, and I am here to help you train your Spanish speaking skills. We're not going to be talking much about the rules, maybe drop some pointers here and there, but it's going to be mostly about practice, getting you familiarized with the sound and pronunciation of words and the construction of sentences. I've met a lot of people who know a bunch of words, but they struggle with those same words when trying to use them in conversation, resulting into faltering dialogue and poor communication. So, we're going to be working on that. Here's how. We're going to start by reading some text in English with the text on screen, so you can read along with me and get the idea of the text. Then I'm going to translate that text into Spanish on screen, so you can see how each sentence converts into Spanish. Next, I'm going to read the text in Spanish out loud. I'm gonna be very clear and slow so you can hear how each word sounds. Then I'm going to give you a moment with the text in Spanish on screen so you can read it out loud as best you can. If you need more time for this part, go ahead and pause the video and take all the time you need. Lastly, we're going to do one last round together, first in English and then in Spanish. To wrap it up, I'm going to ask you some questions about the text in both languages, with the questions written on screen. You can answer these questions on the comments. Try to be as elaborate and creative as you can. For example, if a sentence reads, Edgar is eating soup by himself at home, and I ask you, who is the subject of this sentence? You could say, it's Edgar. And that would be correct. But you could also say it's a lonely guy eating soup at home. And that would be correct too, but you get to dig deeper into the language. And at the beginning of every following video, I'm going to be reading a couple of my favorite answers from you. Let's do a quick test run with a short text. This is an excerpt from a very popular dialogue from a very popular work of fiction. Let's begin. This is not an animal wiped out by deforestation or the building of a dam. Dinosaurs had their shot, and nature selected them for extinction. Este no es un animal arrasado por la deforestación o la construcción de una presa. Los dinosaurios tuvieron su chance y la naturaleza los seleccionó para la extinción. Este no es un animal arrasado por la deforestación o la construcción de una presa. Los dinosaurios tuvieron su chance y la naturaleza los seleccionó para la extinción. Now, read the text in Spanish out loud. Now, some pointers. For wiped out, we are using arrasado. To wipe out, arrasar. Aniquilar, or in this case, aniquilado, also works. It might actually be more common, but aniquilar is obviously the direct translation for annihilate, and it really refers to something different. Arrasado hits way closer to wiped out. And for shot, we're using chance, which is a word in English for the same thing. But for chance, we use oportunidad, which is actually closer to opportunity. And for shot, which is more informal, we would use chance with the strong E at the end, which, at least in Mexico, is the informal way to say oportunidad. Now the questions. First of all, can you identify the work of fiction this is from? ¿Puedes identificar de qué obra de ficción es esto? Second question, what didn't happen to this animal? ¿Qué no le pasó a este animal? In this video, I'm going to be answering these questions myself since it is an example. And I might do a couple more like that just to launch the channel. But after that, I'll be leaving the questions open at the end of every video for you to answer. So, answers. First question. Can you identify the work of fiction this is from? ¿Puedes identificar de qué obra de ficción es esto? Answer. This is obviously from Jurassic Park. Esto es obviamente de Parque Jurásico. Second question. What didn't happen to this animal? ¿Qué no le pasó a este animal? Answer. It didn't get extinct by human intervention. No se extinguió por intervención humana. Alright, that's it. I'll be mixing up the texts we use as we go. Sometimes they'll be short and simple like this one. Sometimes we'll use longer and more complex ones. So, keep an eye out for more videos and let's start getting those
language gains.